Everybody, it's Paul from Screenwriting Scribe. Today we're going to take a look at Katalist.ai. It's a website that's going to help you as a screenwriter do some storyboarding for your scripts. So as we take a look, and today we're just going to do a first impressions video. I'm going to show you what the pricing is. I'm actually going to run you through a script and how to import your own script, what the visuals look like, and overall how easy it is to use. So we look on your main page. This is all stuff that has been generated by their AI. It looks really good and really nice. So the interesting thing is once we get to some of my videos, I think you'll see that the quality, I mean, they're really cherry picking what they like, but the quality isn't the greatest, but it's not really bad. It actually does fairly good for what you put in. So what you're seeing here is how it generates frames. And so again, you're just choosing a character, you're just plopping your script in, and you're getting a storyboard. It's really nice, and they're not lying. Script to storyboard in one click, no AI experience required, 4 times faster production time. And I think and I think what they're talking about in terms of this is that you're able to visualize your story better, and you can say, okay, if this is what it looks like, or no, I want this to look like that. That's really helpful in terms of figuring out how to do your story. So they do have a AI cast of characters for your story. You can upload your custom ones, but depending on the plan you have, it'll tell you how many you're able to use. In my particular plan, I can use 1 custom character, and we'll see how that looks. It does add some interesting things to the storyboard. Some unusual things happened as well too when you added that, and I'll get to that here in a little bit. But the nice thing is they do have some AI characters. There's not a ton of them, but enough to sort of get the point home too. If you just want to show people what the story is like, and you don't really care what the characters look like, this works well for you. So a cool thing about this too, is I did this as well, is you can create your storyboards as videos. And so that's really pretty neat. You can add sound effects as well as music. And on their YouTube page, they actually have several videos of that. And I will link their YouTube page in the description below as well too. And you can actually watch some of the videos that they created. They're actually fairly good. They're fairly interesting. So control scenes with ease. Unlock the virtual potential of storytelling with a dynamic scene generation, whether creating from scratch or repurposing existing scenes. Seamlessly change frames to fit your scene in seconds. This is the one thing I noticed that was hard for me to do, at least when I got into this, was this controlling scenes and characters and stuff like that was not as intuitive and not as easy as I thought it would be. But like I said, we'll take a look when I get into my own scripts, and I can show you sort of what that looks like. Turn your script into a storyboard with only 1 click. This is really powerful. Like I said, it is really good at doing this. I was really impressed with how they took the script that I had and changed it easily into storyboards in not a very long time. It was less than a minute that everything was ready to go. So Katalist does a good job of just sort of giving you the basics of how it works. So you basically import or write your script. They take it as import your script as CVS, Word, or PowerPoint presentations, or copy and paste it from a copywriting app of your choice. I just downloaded it as a PDF, and it was able to take that very well. It automatically generates visuals using the Storyboard AI, and we'll go through this and show you how easy it is to do that. And tweaking it to get just right. Dive deep into framing, angle, character pose, composition, props, and scenes to get the shot just right. Let's try that a little bit more. I didn't do that as much, and so we'll see if it's able to create a better shot for me. And the nice thing about it, it does start for free, but let's take a quick look at the pricing. So taking a quick look at the pricing for this, it does not come cheap at all, just to let you know. So monthly subscriptions, I'm starting with the Essential plan right now, just to take a look at this, but you can try a free trial of the Pro version. And that's normally $99 a month for 2 users. The Essential version works pretty well as well too. In all of these, you get AI creative features, 2 users. You get 200 video credits. To be honest with you, I haven't used all of my video credits. Just on my 1 screenplay, you have a 20 project limit, 1 custom character, 20 panels per project. Now, I'm just using a small project for mine, so it's not really that big of a deal. Now, with the Pro, the reason why everybody wants to use it is because you get unlimited video credits. You can also have unlimited projects. You get 10 custom characters. So if you really want to import your own images from Midjourney and stuff like that, or any other AI generator that you use to create your own characters, feel free to do that. But you get 10 characters with that, and you get 200 plus panels per project. Now you can go even more with that in terms of if you have a business account. Again, Everything is unlimited basically, but you get 25 custom characters, and 5 users are able to do that, and they're able to work in real time with one another. So again, it's not a cheap program, but for what it does a good job. And this is something that helps with your writing. You might really want to take a look at this. Or like I said, what I've done too is do a 7-day trial, take the particular project you want to do and put it in there, get it all figured out, and you basically get it for free for 7 days. Or like I said, if you want to do a month, it's $100 for a month, but you can do as many scripts as you want at that particular point in time. So that's what I would do. So let's take a look at it today and see what it does. So as we look here, it says, what story will you tell today? You can upload your script, or you have AI script assistants. I've actually uploaded a couple projects. So let's do this with a new script and just walk you through the process of how easy it is to create these storyboards. So I'm just going to hit upload script and upload a new script. So this is a full movie script that I uploaded. So the thing you have to remember is you can't use Final Draft extensions. You have to turn it into a PDF, which most script writing programs are easy to do. So it's easy to take that script that you have and just turn it into a PDF. And this is what you get next. So you get the script breakdown, and you can change stuff here. So if I look up here, this is sort of the script breakdown. I can change whatever that is. Let's see here. I can text or type in whatever I want, and I can just say the green arrows just tell me that, yep, I'm accepting what this is. So I'm going to go to the next phase, and this is going to get us set up for settings and characters. And so again, you have these predefined sort of characters here. And this new project is a horror movie that I'm moving in, so I'm just going to talk horror movie. And so there's different ways you can change how you want things to be. You can make them as sort of a sketch, so you can see that they're sketches. You can change it to cinematic. They can be like an oil painting, comic book. So it's very interesting, the different ways that you can do things. Cartoons, pixel art, dark graphic novel. I'm trying to think of what would be interesting, maybe video game, or let's take a look at animation. So again, there's a lot of, I sort of like the animation stuff, so why don't I do that one? And so the interesting thing here too, you can take a look at each of these different people. And if I click on the little button here, you can change what they look like. And the nice thing about this is you can change what type of clothing that they wear. Let's say we want him to be wearing a SWAT uniform, which is red. But I can go here and change what I want him to look like. But again, they don't have a ton of different adults, and they don't have a ton of different models. But I mean, it sort of gets the point across, because that's what you're really trying to do. The other thing you can do is you can take your own thing. You can bring your own characters in here. So let's take and do that to show you how we do that. So in this one, I'm actually generating the character for right now, and we'll see what happens when I just put in a general display of what I think Shane will look like. And we'll see what it comes up with in terms of a generative preview. Again, like I said, you can also add a mid-journey character as well too, and I'll show you where I did that in one of my other clips as well too. Perfect. That looks exactly what I want. And so that works. And so, like I said, it's nice that you're able to, and you can regenerate that preview as well too. And so let's take a look at that. We'll add him, save changes, and then we can go here, add our guy, and see, there we go. There's our Shane, who will be in the program. So again, we have, if you want, this is more square, portrait, whatever frame. I'm just going to do landscape because I think that's easier. So let's create the project and see how long it takes in order for this to work. So again, this is my movie. So this has actually got 120 pages of script with it. And so we'll see how long it takes for it to go through and create all the different scenes and stuff like that. So as you can see, it's doing that right now. It's extracting all the information and putting them in scenes. The neat thing after this is we're going to be able to, after we take a look at this, is we'll be able to actually make them all move as well too, and we'll try that as well so you guys can see that. But like I said, it does take a little bit of time. It depends really on how long your script is as to how long this takes. So here we go. And like I said, it's the nice thing too is you have different locations that you can look at here. We can change stuff about each of the different characters as well too. I'm assuming we can change what each of these different locations is called. And I think that helps bring into focus what each of the backgrounds look like. So we'll take a look. So as we look here, it's a little funny. So as we look at our base characters here, some of it looks similar. You sort of get those visualizations with the AIs that are sort of different, sort of the same. It looks a little different. You know, you have Max and Wayne, and you have them talking, and they're all sort of different, dressed in different things as well too. As we look, we notice that Shane is a little different than what we had said. He's got a lot more blonder, and I was thinking a little more redder. And then you see some differences in what Shane looks like in between the different scenes as well too. That's interesting, the way that the car is right there as well. And as we take a look at some of the other pictures as well too, Max is suddenly very big versus where he was at in this particular picture. It's interesting too. You can see sort of the glitching with the AI in this particular picture, where the pizza is coming out of the wall. And I think the other thing too is you'd probably have to change a little bit of this too, because we see that he's a police officer. Some of these pictures are just bizarre. Let's take a look here and see what happens when we create a moving picture of this. And so we can go here and we can generate videos as well too. And like I said, it'll take a little bit of time. The funny part is, like I said, just seeing sort of your scenes in action, sort of what they look like, just gives you a little idea of what they are. And sometimes that's enough to keep you motivated to keep working on stuff. And plus it gives the people who are thinking of creating your movie an idea of what the scenes would look like. But as you can see, Katalist is not a perfect program, but it does a real good job. It's real easy to use. And so, like I said, I hope you're enjoying seeing how these different things can affect your script. If you do, hit the subscribe and like button. Let me know if you like more videos like this as we go through this. So like I said, it's just finishing generating some videos for us, and then we'll take a look and see how those look. All right, as we were looking through some of the videos have come up. Some of them are still working. It's interesting to see sort of what the AI is doing here. The flame back here is fine, but you'll notice here with some of these other ones, he's talking way too fast. Or in this particular one here, you can see what happens with the arm. He's holding it with two hands, and then suddenly he only has one hand. So again, the hand motions, like most AI, you can tell it's AI just because of the hand motions that are going on and stuff like that as well too. Well, his hands aren't too bad in this one. This one, it's really interesting. The way that he's gripping his hand, or this guy who's shimmying during his particular scene. So these are all, like I said, pretty interesting, and just and Shane and Max, this particular scene, you could just see how interesting the AI is. Well, let's play this and see what it looks like in terms of sort of the different scenes and stuff like that. So we can just hit the play button, pull up the scene name here, and then it will bring in the image here, and you can see what the image looks like. Again, it gives you sort of like an idea of what's going on. And you can see how well that, again, it just gives you an interesting idea of what this looks like. But the cool thing about this, again, is most of the stuff is just being generated on the fly. So again, you can see how powerful it is with just how much it's done in a minute. You can also tell, again, this is not going to be something that you're going to show to somebody as a film, just because of how things look and stuff like that. But overall, it gives you an idea of what the scene will look like and stuff like that. So I think that is pretty interesting. So you have a couple of different ways you can look at it. Again, you can use this as sort of the film method. This one is a method basically like a PowerPoint where you can walk through, and the images, as you see in the still photos, are pretty decent. You do have a little bit of difference between the different characters. Like I said, you can tell the difference that because this is supposed to be Shane as he charges through the woods. He looks differently there, but again, this is sort of AI. It doesn't always do a great job of remembering characters from each different scenes. And again, you can use the fourplex to sort of bring you back out of that. And again, you can see, so here's what Shane looks like in one scene, here's what Shane looks like in the other scene. Now, it did do a good job pretty much about identifying that Max is going to be a police officer, same with Shane. But you also see that Max is dressed a little differently in terms of some of these other things, because I don't know what he's dressed up like that. But I guess in a small town it means you wear plaid. So I thought that was interesting. You can create notes, you can create dialogue. So when we get back to here, you can edit different things. So let's say we want to take a look. Let's take a look at a different scene and see if I can change some stuff here. So let's take a look at the pizza shop. I'm going to change that to a neighborhood because it should be somebody else's house. So I changed sort of the neighborhood and stuff like that, and let's see if we can edit the scene as well too. Now this glider doesn't work as easily as I hope it would be. So if we look at motion strength, it looks like it's more motion strength. The gentleman this is sort of a robbery, Max is being robbed, and you can't really see the gun, and you really can't make out the figure as well too. Let's see, generative fill tool, upload image, character posing tool. So let's try that. Let's see if we can have Max. Let's see what I can do for him. Let's see if I can move, how easy it is to move his stuff. Let's move him back a little bit and see how that works. Let's see if I can. It's not letting me really move the. Let's see what happens when I do this. See if it moves him back in the scene at all. It didn't really give me a lot of different options to move him. I'm not seeing at the beginning of the website, it sort of told that you can have people jump or move around. It doesn't look like it's very easy to adjust what the character is doing. So we'll just have to wait and see. Aha, here we go. So it's changed a little bit. So let's change it to this and see what happens with the video. So this is what I've changed it a little bit. I've changed the location, and so now it's sort of figuring out what to do next. And it does take a little bit of time. As you are doing any type of AI stuff, it's trying to figure stuff out. So it's interesting. It basically has us moving towards Max. And I can probably slow that motion down. So let's slow the motion down a bunch and see if that'll change things at all for us. So we sort of have him in a neighborhood. We have a robber. And unfortunately, the robber isn't dressed. And I probably should have named this particular character because I think the AI is just trying to figure out who this is. So, okay, motion strength is not the thing we want to do with Max's character. So let's take that and let's stretch that motion strength out and see what happens when we take the motion strength and change it to something a little differently. So obviously the bar being lower it actually adds more motion to our character. So let's take a look and see what happens when we add a long motion strength for it as well too. Okay, so this is more it's sort of just a turning type of thing. So that's sort of what it seems like. So the motion is just turning. So let's go about halfway and see what that gets us. Okay, so for this one, we have about half motion strength, and so it's not really moving the characters around, but it's nice. So you don't have Max sort of freaking out, but you sort of have a conversation. I think that is pretty good to have. So let's get out of that, and I think let's see if it saves that, or if it went back, or if we need to save that in terms of that. So we'll take a look at that and see. And so some of it is going to be. Yep. There we go. So we have a different scene with Max here, and you just sort of see the two are coming together. And so, yeah, so this is sort of what an early stage of just doing this type of thing is. So we can export the video. So let's export the video. All right, so let's take a look at this. So it comes across as an MP4 file. So if I hit play, you can sort of see everything that we talked about. Sorry, it's just a little funny how things would go. But like I said, it gives you a little bit of a movie that you can do and stuff like that. So I think that's pretty neat. Like I said, and it didn't take us that long. We've been working on this for about 15-20 minutes. We could say, hey, this is what the story would look like, and we could add sound effects, we could add dialogue, we could add all sorts of things like that, and to help out. And I think, like I said, if this just helps somebody visualize what your story looked like, I think that's an awesome thing. So, all right, so let's take a look at some of the other projects I created. So I did this film called Chaplains, and this is shorter, and this again sort of shows you the storyboard. So the same thing sort of happens here. You get very close characters, but not always the same. Nina was on, actually, I'll take a look at Nina here. I actually got her off of Midjourney. I created her myself, and so I just basically just added her photo here, and it was real easy to do. And then I just added her into the mix. So let's go down here. I think this is the one. When I put her in initially try to replace a character, it wasn't replaced, and you can see it wasn't, because in the stock images that I used she was African American, and so when I replaced her with this particular image, it didn't replace her in all the different pictures. But so the nice thing about this is, since it read the script and it got to understand that Warren, and I was talking about Faith as well too, but who Warren was, because it really got these first kind of pictures right of who Warren was, because he was wearing stereotypical Baptist type of clergy clothing. But then after that, it sort of lost that, in that he started giving him scrubs, which didn't really match, but it did put like a cross on the wall. So it was able to identify some stuff within the script. Also, it gave Jim a clerical collar, so that was good. That was able to figure stuff out. And again, we can look through these different images. So then I went back and said, hey, I wanted to put Nina back in, so I recreated the project. And so this is what happened when I recreated the project. We'll take a look at the second one here. So this is with Nina in here in the first place. Now, the interesting thing here is I didn't change the clothing for what Warren was wearing, and you can see he's got some very interesting clothing on. It's just so it just says casual streetwear, and so that's what he's wearing. You'll notice that the hospital looks a lot different. I personally like the first hospital a little better. And so the other thing here too is with Warren and Lori, they aren't wearing scrubs, but again, it gets back to business casual, so I need to go back through and edit each of these things in order to get them to exactly where they need to be. But it did include Nina this time. And the interesting thing about that was this particular picture here, where Warren and Nina are in the hallway, and it gave Warren a green hint as well too. And so I said in the script that Nina has dyed green hair, but it also gave Warren. So that's interesting that the AI couldn't figure that out. But overall, I think it does a good job of creating, basically, like I said, some instant storyboards for us. But it's also interesting here too. So if you read Nina enters the office and shares her own challenging encounter with a patient noticing Warren's black eye. It's got two pictures of Nina here and two different type of hairstyles. So again, it's not perfect. And like I said, we could go through and have it generate new images and stuff like that. But overall, it's, like I said, it's really quick to use, really easy to use. It helps you really visualize your story. So let's take a look at this next one, the AI script assistant. So let's generate a script and see how good Katalist is at creating a script and developing a storyline and a storyboard and video generation. So let's type in here something that would be pretty neat. So I'm a big Space Hulk fan, so I'm going to say a Space Marine has to clear a Space Hulk of a bunch of aliens before the engine explodes and he dies in the Space Hulk. So let's see what this gives us from this prompt. I have no idea what it's going to give us. So then we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at the images that it comes up with. So this is, again, just Katalist coming up with its own story. And so, like I said, let's take a look and see how it does. All right, so let's take a look at how this all looks. See if all the thing makes sense here. Okay, so again, So we start with a lone space marine clad in battle-worn armor steps out of his drop pod onto the cold metallic floor of the Space Hulk. The flickering lights of the Dalek ship cast eerie shadows as he surveys his surroundings, his pulse rifle at the ready. So in some sense, it's really good at sort of giving us a what things look like. It doesn't really show us what the aliens look like. They just show our main protagonist. And the other interesting thing here is I was like, why are there these other people with him? Well, he's fighting a horde of other aliens, and it just includes a bunch of other people around him and stuff like that. And again, we can go through and change some of this, what this looks like. But let's take a look and see how it looks like in terms of a video mode. So let's take a look at the videos that it generates for us. All right. So as we're looking at the video, it looks pretty cool. It does even though he's running backwards. It's really pretty interesting the way that it shifts stuff around, and for creating a sense of scenes and stuff like that, it's pretty well done. Like I said, it seems like the character seems to be pretty stable in terms of what his face looks like and stuff like that. So if we just go back to the sort of presentation screen, now you can download this as a shooting board, download all images, download a PowerPoint projection, download a slideshow video, or copy presentation link. I'm just going to download the shooting board and we'll see what that looks like. Well, I think since I don't have the full version yet, it won't let me download this stuff. So that's one thing you have to probably get you have to buy a month's worth for it in order to work. So that was a little disappointing, but that's what it is. So there you go. There's Katalist. Now, do I think it's worth it? I mean, it's fun to work around with. I think the fun is the 7-day trial. It's fun to give it a try. And if you are really wanting some storyboards or creating maybe a short video project, this might be cool. But just know it's a lot. I think, I could probably recommend this if this was like $50 a month or even $40 a month for the pro version. But $100 a month, I get why they have to charge that much, because it costs them that much to generate the images and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if you're going to use this, just use it for a month, and then get all your projects done and then move on. I don't see, unless you're making a bunch of these different projects, as easy as it is to use, I think it's insanely expensive for what you actually get. The products are okay. Would it be any different if I would just go to some of these AI things and upload the projects myself? Well, it's basically a time saver, but I don't know how much of time it really actually saves you, because a lot of the images I think are funny, goofy. Does it get the point across? A little bit, but at the end of the day, not overtly enthused with this project. But like I said, give it a try if this is something that you just want to try the 7-day trial for, and let me know what you think. If you have any questions about this, leave it in the comment section below. Until the next video, live well and write well.